What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good, how about you?
Pretty good. Um, yeah. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Ethan Bridge. I'm a runner for Denmark High School. I'm a senior and I just finished up my cross country season.
Where have you recently committed?
I have actually committed to Eastern Kentucky. I got it on right
Oh
now.
yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add before I ask you a couple questions?
Um, Not that I can think of.
Okay. I'm gonna start from the beginning, I guess. Like kind of when around did you start running, and like what was the reason for it?
All right, so I think I started around end of fourth grade, fifth grade area. I actually did a fun run it's the typical, I think, run. The way I guess guys start running is the fun run in elementary school if they're starting
Oh
when they're
yeah.
younger. But It was a BYOT, bring your own technology is like our whole thing for our Forsyth County schools. They
Okay.
had a fun run where it was a mile fun run. I ran like a 640 mile. My mom was actually already a runner. She ran in high school, ran with Bob Kennedy back in Ohio. She was a low 5 minute miler, and I think in the 19s or 18s in the 5K. So she was a pretty strong runner. So
Yeah.
she knew I had the gene pool for that, to go into that. And then, from there, I guess, started running with my, local running club. Actually was he sang at my, church, my Catholic church. He actually started up the feeder team at West Forsyth High School. So I was actually originally at a feeder team for West Forsyth, the Junior Wolverines, and then from there all through middle school, and then obviously went to Denmark. But yeah,
Okay. So when did you start taking running seriously?
um, I mean, there wasn't a specific part like I really
Hmm.
took it serious. I kind of was like always competitive. I was a swimmer actually before I was a runner. I did competitive swimming from really young. I started doing swimming lessons when I was like 3 years old. But then swimming competitive probably for about 8 years. All the way till about my freshman year. I only did not run. I only swam like 1 year in high school. Kind of
Hmm.
quit because it was a little too much. I learned. But I did competitive swimming, so I always had that competitive aspect of me. And then back to what I was saying. Sorry, repeat the question one more time. I just want to make
It
sure.
was when you started taking running, like, seriously as a priority, I guess.
Yeah, I always did the USATF races when I started running from fifth grade. I made nationals all the way from the first year in fifth grade in 2017 when I went to Tallahassee. That's when I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And from there I built up, and then my freshman year, that's probably my standout season. I've had pretty decent times, but my freshman season when I had a 9:43 making it to state as the only freshman in 7A to make it in the
Hmm.
32 was pretty big. So yeah,
Was that the USTAF meet you went to? Was that like considered the Junior Olympics?
yeah, it was
Okay.
JOXE races.
So my brother, he's a senior as well.
Hmm.
He actually raced in the same race then, because he did the 1500 and the 3K there. So that's
Oh, is
kind
that
of
the track one?
yeah.
Yeah, so I did the cross country ones.
Oh,
So
okay.
actually, in those races, I had a lot of people actually that I've ran with in the past in those races. With Tommy,
Hmm.
he ran those
Yeah.
races building up. He actually did more, I feel like AAU, but he did do at USATF too. And then Logan Corman,
Hmm.
um, a lot of those guys I actually like almost grew up running with those races. So yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Okay, that's awesome. So your freshman year, obviously you said you qualified for states, which is pretty big as a freshman, especially running 943. Um, just like talk me through your progression from freshman year, like training wise, racing wise, to where you are now.
Yeah, so freshman year, I honestly could not tell you much about my training. My training
Hmm.
was good. It was really solid. I didn't go too crazy mileage. It was pretty average to like probably like 30, 40 I would expect around. But it was mainly just trying to get as close as I can to Ethan Ashley and the twins at the
Oh
time,
yeah.
the Anderson twins. So they were like my target. I was the fourth runner on the team. We actually came out of that season, the cross country season, as we got third place, I think, at state. Yeah, third place. So honestly, I was constantly just trying to beat them in workouts and get to
Mhm.
really the best I could possibly be. And then I guess kind of ran like I guess in a way like Graham Blank said in his nationals race, he kind of like ran stupid. Like he kind of just went out there
Yeah.
and ran. I mean, honestly, there's not much that was going on in my mind. I didn't really have any expectations going into that 3200 race. I was the eighth seed. I remember that. I was an eighth seed, and I had all these guys like Kushan Patel. I had Jackson. I had Ben Wynn. I had all those guys in the race, and obviously that fourth spot also Diego Fernandez. He's at Kennesaw, but what's it called? I had all those great guys, the young guys, trying to go for that fourth spot because you
Hmm.
already had Ben Burgee, Ethan Ashley, and Trent Bell pretty
Hmm.
much guaranteed those spots.
Yeah.
And fighting for that spot, it was just a massive second pack of about probably like six of us. And yeah, I mean, overall, it was ended up being in that last lap, went about 63, I want to say. It was really fast and got that PR, that big PR. It was probably a big, like at least 15-second PR. And yeah, I couldn't have been happier after that race.
Okay. So how would you say that like compares to as a senior now? Obviously running close to the same pace for a 5K now. So
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, to really think about it, I was actually talking about it the other day with my teammate Jacob Grant. It's like, we're going out in these races, like these big races, especially NXR and, I guess this past weekend, Foot Locker. We're going out in these races like at 4:40, the first mile. And I'm like, shoot, that used to be my mile PR. But like,
yeah.
what's it called? I guess in a way, um, it's been something to adapt to. I mean, I had a great freshman season, something like a lot of people would value those times I had as a
Hmm.
senior. But then I got a little bit of injury trouble, sophomore, junior year track season. And now I'm just looking back now at my freshman season, using as confidence, kind of reflecting back on what I did right then and trying to
Hmm.
reflect it now and trying to be the best I can this season.
Okay. So going into I guess do you have one more cross country meet? Are you racing running lane?
I am not, I'm done for the season.
Okay.
I just
So
I'm
going
on the break now.
into like indoor track, I guess in track, or if you're doing any indoor track meets, I know Georgia's not too big about that.
Yeah.
But like what are your goals going forth?
Say, I don't put too big goals on myself in a way. Like I
Hmm.
don't like overdo it because then it gets in my head. I don't want it mentally to drain me out, but like I always obviously have big time goals. So indoor is a possibility. I've never done an indoor meet ever, but
Really?
I'm considering. I've actually talked to the Pifers about this because we're really good friends, and
Hmm.
he helps me out with a lot of that type of stuff on what to plan to go next. Like just, I guess I don't know how to word it, but like just be the best I can. But
Hmm.
maybe doing one of those indoor races to, or just do like New Balance. I've already had the automatic qual.
Yeah.
So what's it called? Maybe do the 3200 or the 5K or something at New Balance Nationals. That's definitely a possibility. And
Hmm.
then going into outdoor, that's definitely the big mark. That's really, I guess, the big thing that I'm trying to have big goals for. And really prove the runner I actually am. But I think probably, I mean, I'm shooting for first. I mean, sub 420. I still haven't got that yet, which I should be definitely
That'll come.
capable of doing. Considering
Yeah.
I run a 918 now, since I just got that PR. Just a couple weeks ago, I got a 918 in that 2 mile race at Meet of Champs.
Hmm.
And then so and then in a 2 mile, obviously just trying to get as low as I can in the nines or possibly break nine. So I'm definitely looking
Yeah.
forward for that.
I mean, this is gonna be a great year, especially like I guess in Georgia for the 32. Like we'll have, I'm seeing 5 guys probably breaking nine this season. I feel like that's definitely a possibility. I'm pretty sure Tommy, Jackson Hogshead, like Malachi,
Then win.
Jameson, Ben, like those guys are all locks. I feel like,
Yeah, I mean, considering you already got Ben Wynn at that
yeah, and that was just
857
so
just
overlooked.
recently. Obviously,
Yeah.
Tommy Latham,
Uh-huh.
846. So that's pretty
Yeah.
solid. Jackson realistically just got that national qualifier spot. So, I mean,
Hmm.
if he's getting those spots, he should be able to. I mean, if
Yeah.
he's consistently running under 15, he should be getting sub nine this season.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm just right behind them. I mean, I beat
I
Ben
think,
Wynn at state. So, I mean, anything can
yeah.
happen in a race. I mean, I can have a heck of a race and run a low stuff like an 850 low. Like you never know how it can go. I mean,
Yeah.
that freshman race puts the show. I wasn't really expecting to run a 940 as a freshman.
Hmm.
That was definitely something I surprised myself with. So I'm hoping to do that this season.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if you run sub nine this season. I
Hmm.
think that 918 was a fantastic performance. And I think you've just been so consistent throughout the season. I mean, how many times did you run in the 1530s this year? Like,
Yeah, it kind of got a little old towards the end of the season. I mean, I may have
mhm.
been running at least one too many. That Foot Locker race did not go how I would have wanted it to
Yeah.
go. But if you look back in my resume this season, I mean, I've ran just about the same time about 3 times in a row, and then ran
Mhm.
932 this past. Finally broke it. I mean, I broke it twice this season. My PR, one by like a couple milliseconds, and then one
Yeah.
at NXR. So I mean, I'm glad I'm consistent and not getting injured, which was good. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, that'd be pretty dangerous, like racing someone as yourself who's just so consistent because, like that's probably the minimum they're running. Like if they have a good race, they'll be up
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great place to be. Um, but yeah, I mean, you've had 2 big races, past 2 weeks actually. NXO, which was a pretty great race. You want to talk about that a little bit, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I started off pretty strong. I don't know if you look back in the race
Yeah,
video.
it's a fast start there, first mile.
Yes, very, very. I was not, I mean, I was expecting it when I heard
Mhm.
Marcelo was going to take it out in 420. I heard that
Oh,
before we were
yeah,
starting the race. There's a little bit of a discussion between Jackson and Tommy and Ty Stewart's and him. I heard it get passed along. I wasn't actually in that conversation, but I just heard it from other people.
in the loop.
In the loop, yeah. Um, so I mean, they did just that. They went out in like 429. So
Yeah.
um, I actually got a really good start. If you look back in the race video, they flip it to the main view of the front pack.
Mhm.
I'm actually in the front. You can see me in the Denmark flag shorts. We had some
Oh yeah,
cool uniforms. I'm actually right next to Marcelo and right next to Jackson up in the front. Faded off a little bit because I mean I knew I was going out a little too fast when they yelled at 207, me going through the 800. So I pushed back a little bit because I knew I was gonna regret I guess going out a little too quick. But I just wanted to make sure I wasn't falling back too far because I know there's a lot of cost by doing that. So
yeah.
went out in about 440, pretty conserved. I actually have never ran that course before, so it was my first time.
Oh,
And then I ran that hill. I was like,
mhm.
I'm good with hills. That's my thing. But when I went up that hill the first time, that thing hurt. That hurt a lot. So
Yeah.
I went up that, got passed by quite a good bit of people. including Ben Wynn. He passed me up the hill there. I think even Loden Corman passed me up there. A lot of people I can name that passed me on that hill. And then, I mean, I kind of rebound myself when I actually got caught up by two Balin Jesuit guys. I think they're 3 and 4 is Justin
Mhm.
Ruiz and Marco. So actually, they're probably the reason why I PR'd in that race because in the whole
Okay.
last mile, I had Balin Jesuit parents on each side of the course screaming at them to do some type of move, and I just went with their move, and that
Mhm.
actually caused me to pass a lot of people. And I mean, I think I went 4:40 the first mile, about 5, probably 20 the second mile. Was not really too quick, and then I think around my last mile was around 4:55 flat. So I closed pretty good. I just needed to
Yeah.
fix that middle of the race, which could make those seconds um getting closer to that 15-minute mark when I during this past season it could have been
Mhm.
quite useful there, but yeah.
Okay. So, I guess I'll bring this up. I mean, I was at this race, Wesleyan, and that was pretty special race. Probably especially for you.
Hmm.
But as like two teams, honestly, that was my team Whitfield and your team Denmark. That was that was a crazy race.
At
I'm
one
not
point.
like I had a bad race that day, and I had no clue if we were gonna win or not. I mean, top 10 get medals, only Whitfield and Denmark guys. That was pretty cool walking up there, just
Hmm.
seeing gold and navy and then y'all's blue. That was something pretty fun.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah,
that
I just
race was
want
a
to bring
lot
that
of
up.
fun.
Yeah,
And what's it called? You guys got us by 1 point
one
there.
point. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think going into the rest of the season for us, like we just like didn't have it because you guys, when you guys moved up to the big races, like you guys continued to perform, and us as a team just kind of, I don't want to say fell apart, but didn't perform up to our standards the rest of the
But
season.
your team, a lot of people discount it. Like your team
Yeah,
was pretty stacked up.
I
You
mean
guys
it's
have
smaller
very
one A
tight
private
gap,
school.
like West Forsyth in a way.
Hmm.
You guys had that tight pack that a lot of teams don't have.
Yeah.
Especially with the times they're running. They're running low 16s, 15 minutes, like
Hmm.
high 15s in the 5K, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's definitely something to keep note of that people probably didn't realize that your team had that sh really should have. I mean, you guys definitely had a lot more that you could have showed out at the end of the
Yeah.
season there. And then if you look back at that race, the Wesleyan race, I mean, look at the battle between our two teams. I think there was only one other guy, maybe I think Johns Creek or something, was breaking up our two teams that were all making up the whole like top 10. I
Yeah.
think our
I
team
mean,
actually was the only team we actually had all of our five in the
so
top
do
10.
we.
What were you saying?
We had top five. It was just Denmark and Wakefield in top 10.
Yeah, but like our top five on our team, I think you guys had one guy outside the top 10,
No, I
but
was
you
the
guys had like the three in front of our other guys. That's why I think that split up our points or
I was
something.
the
I
fifth
don't know.
runner and I got 10th.
Oh, then never mind, I
Yeah,
guess.
so it was
Either
it,
way, I mean, it was an
it
insane
was a tight
race.
race.
I think our fifth guy was probably 11th, if anything. So it
Yeah.
does shows.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You're a
and
freshman,
then
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I think I actually may have got 10th my freshman
Oh,
year. So
I guess I'll have
in
to.
that
How many
Wesleyan
times did you
race,
win Wesleyan? 3?
what were you saying? Oh yeah,
Did you win?
3.
I'll have to go for 4. We'll see if
Yeah,
that can
so
happen.
I got I got a medal. It was actually Jackson Hogshead was in that race.
Oh.
He was a place in front of me, I think. So basically I got 10th or something in that race, and then
Mhm.
every year after that, I won it and broke the course record twice in the last two times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite courses. That's Wish was a PR course because I do really well in it.
Yeah. Um, I feel like I have to talk about obviously you're going to Eastern Kentucky, and I think Eastern Kentucky, like this season, they've been so overlooked just because it's like kind of a random school, I guess. But they're definitely a powerhouse. Like they went to NCAAs, they raced
Mhm.
well, and I mean, there's some guys who are like Jackson Hogshead, for example. He's 14, like 58, and he's looking at schools like Georgia and Alabama. But like in retrospect, Eastern Kentucky is like I would say a better school than
Mhm.
majority of this like those schools, which is kind of cool. And like how did you end up finding them, and like how did you get in contact with them, I guess, and end up signing?
Yeah, so um I sent out a bunch of emails. Sorry, my throat's messed up. This
Oh,
cold
it's
and
fine.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I would say just looking around, I mean, I sent tons of emails. Like, what's it called?
Hmm.
That's what you need to do when you're getting recruited and looking for the right school. I mean, look around everywhere. Use everything as experience to like see what schools are going to give you. So I mean, I was talking to schools like Georgia and whatnot, and like Auburn, Clemson, and
Yeah.
all these other schools. But um, I feel like Eastern Kentucky really was offering me a spot to like really develop me as a runner and make me one of those top guys in the NCAA, which is what I want to be. I want to
Yeah.
be one of the best. And honestly, I feel like I adapt better when I'm not the top guy on the team. I want to be one of the lower guys, which I will be. And I want to build up to be maybe placing and scoring points on their team and competing at NCAAs. I mean, they've proved that they've developed guys to the point where they can qualify and be one of the top teams in the country.
Hmm.
So I mean, having that opportunity was definitely something big for me. And their past two NCAAs have not been what they've wanted. Last year I think they got dead last. They didn't do as good. They had a couple guys not race how they would have wanted to. They got
Hmm.
a little too ahead of themselves, knowing that they came off a second place finish behind UNC last year. Pretty close. And winning conference and all that. And then it kind of shocked. They were little. They were not prepared how they should have. The
Yeah.
coach described, like, really explained that to me, like they were really focused on changing that this year. It obviously was a little better this year. But their top guy, Justine, which was actually the big underdog that they never really mentioned much to like have a shot to win it. But I feel like
Hmm.
he probably had one of the biggest shots out of the underdogs to win it.
Yeah.
But I actually have not spoke to him, like the coach, about it of what really happened. I'm not.
Mm.
I think he could have been possibly part of the stumble with the guy from New Mexico who lost his
Yeah.
shoe. There was apparently I didn't really watch the race too much actually because
Hmm. Oh, okay.
Not Full Locker, NXR and stuff.
Hmm.
But what's it called? He didn't finish, so that definitely contributed to how they performed. But I think they definitely have a good view on what they want in the future, and they're definitely building up a team that's definitely having their eyes on being one of the top in the NCAA. So.
Yeah, I mean, that actually reminds me, like, just how important, like, we were talking about this during the season, actually, after A6,
Hmm.
when we came off, like, having a pretty good race at Wesleyan, and then getting, like, I think we got, like, fourth or fifth there at A6, which was, like,
Yeah.
solid, but, I mean, you guys obviously beat us there, and it kind of brought up like, one of our coaches, our assistant coach, he brought up the point of, like, just how important that number one is because we were looking back at the scores, and I mean, you finished like what did you finish? Like
1936.
yeah, and I mean, our top guy was like 30, 40 places behind you,
Yeah, I
and
think I was top 15. I know that for a fact. If you
yeah,
remember, I think I may have been 11th. I was 11th.
okay, that's what I thought. but I wasn't positive, so I didn't want to bring it up. But
You're all good.
um, I mean, yeah, like just like we can have like you can have a number one that's not like if you just have a tight pack like that, that's good for small races and stuff. But when you get into the big races, the points just sort of add up when you don't have one guy who's out taking down some points.
Yeah.
And I mean, going into like back to Eastern Kentucky, like that could have definitely made a major difference. And I
Hmm.
mean, it'll probably be a great position for you. Like you may not be able to be a scoring runner. You could be like number 7 next year or
Hmm.
like something like that, and you'd still get all this race experience. So when you're a junior or senior, like you'll be up
Yeah.
there. So and you
I
know what to
mean,
do.
yeah, they show quite a good example, I guess, of my team in a way. Like Justine, I mean, he's an
Hmm.
8:13 2 mile runner and ran in the same race of Jakob that broke the 2 mile world record. He got fourth in that
Yeah,
race. So they definitely have a good front runner. And then I guess right behind them, they have a good pack that really builds up that, I guess, same kind of dynamic of how our team ran, I
yeah,
guess, going this season. Which
I
definitely led
definitely
us
see
to
that.
having a very good end of our season. And it's significant having that front runner perform how they're supposed to, or it can really go either way.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna change up questions a little bit here. Go a
Okay.
little more, I guess like yes, no, would you
Yeah.
rather, like stuff like that.
All right.
Start off with cross country or track, I guess.
Cross country.
Okay. So you said you like hills, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
That
that's
that
my
makes sense
thing.
then.
I actually do better on hill courses than I do on flat fast courses. So that's why I can like for some reason never I can never do as good as I want to do on those fast like ASIC course type
Yeah.
courses. And then like Carrollton and Wesleyan, I mean Carrollton, I
Mhm.
got 15:52 last year and beat people I like never beat before. And then I guess this year I beat people that were running low 15s, and I'm a 15:30 guy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I feel similar. Like at the beginning me at Carrollton this year, I ran 17:09,
Hmm.
and going after that, I was like, okay, I should be well under 17 then. And I just like,
Wait, you ran 17:09 at ortho?
yeah,
You want to know something fun about that?
sure.
You beat me.
Oh, I
I did
did. I
awful.
knew this.
I did awful at that race. That's actually probably one of my worst high school races ever.
No, yeah,
I ran 17:17, and that was that was something else. I've actually never experienced something like that in a cross country race. I mean, I've never really had a bad cross country race, and I mean, you got the experience to really learn from it. So, I mean, just learn to not be dehydrated,
yeah.
and that's yeah, it can
I
change a lot.
remember, I
Preparation
remember,
changes a lot in how you perform.
yeah, I remember passing you in the woods. You like had your like hands on your hips or something, like stumbling, and I ran past you. I was like, that guy looks so fast. What's going on with him? And then I like realized it was you after the race. Went around my team telling them I'm practically 15:30 guy. So that was
Well, I
fun
actually
while it
went in a
lasted.
full out sprint in the back of the woods there. Actually, at one point, like I went in all out sprint. I had people laughing at me for some reason. And then I was like, I was just dying, and nothing was working.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's in the past.
Yeah. We won't talk about it again.
I mean, you beat him. You beat me, sorry.
Okay. Next, I guess, is what's your favorite like running shoe brand? If you could like pick one brand for the rest of your life, I guess. Spikes, trainers, everything.
Hard. Um, so I have quite literally like I go everywhere. So my spikes for track are on. I
Great
used to run
choice.
in Nike spikes. I run in Nike Dragonflies XCs. So spikes, I'm not sure if I want to. I want to go on. I like on for spikes. I
Okay.
have to divide this because I actually run in so many different shoes. Because I work in a running store. But
Okay.
Big Peach.
Yeah.
Um, and then what's it called? I used to run in New Balance, a lot of New Balances, the 1080 and stuff, for my
Hmm.
trainers. But now, and also the Triumph for Saucony. So I ran in those. Currently, I'm running in the Asics Gel Nimbus in the
Okay.
glycerins, the Brooks glycerins.
Hmm.
I actually run workouts in both those, which is weird for a lot of people to hear. But
Yeah.
that and then workout shoe would be like those are I actually wore the Vaporflies through high school, probably since sophomore year all the way till
Hmm.
junior year, and then I've been primarily wearing the Adidas Pro 3s that I got for free at what's it called? The Petrie. So I've been wearing those. Those are actually pretty good. Pretty comparable to the Vaporflies.
Hmm.
That and then also the Bostons that I also got
Yeah.
from them. But yeah, so I'm a little everywhere. I don't really have a
Yeah.
specific favorite shoe. I'm kind of open.
That's how I feel. I mean, I don't think I've gotten the same pair of trainers or even the same brand.
Mhm.
I've gotten the same brand a couple times, but I don't think I've ever gotten the same pair of
I
trainers
mean,
right now.
overall, I think I would say it's just weird for me to say. I think Nike is probably
Nike.
my like go-to.
Yeah, I mean, it has a great range,
Yeah.
but I'm excited because I'm asking for the OnCloud Echo Boom for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So hoping I get that, try out their super
A
shoe.
little fast
I've
shoe
heard good
there.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, they got that one, and then they have the Strike Boom, I think, or something. That's also pretty good. The Ons,
Yeah. I mean, my opinion, the best training shoe I've ever had is the New Balance Rebel.
the
And
Rebel. Hmm.
I got a pair at
That's
New Balance
Ben
Nationals.
Wins
Oh, yeah.
go-to. He's been wearing
Okay.
that thing like all the time. Every time I see him.
I mean, it's like so light and it feels so fast, but has so much cushion at the same time.
Yeah,
But they don't
I gotta
sell
try
it.
that one out. Maybe.
They don't sell it
Wait,
at
is it a
the.
super shoe or what? Like,
No,
what's? Is
it's
it just a trainer?
unplated. Yeah, it's just super thin. It's like made out of the same material as New Balance's super shoe, like the same layer, so it's super light. And then they just
It's
don't
like a
price
more
up the.
cushioned streak fly in a way. Hmm.
Yeah, I know. I would say more cushion, more durable,
Yeah,
more stable street fly.
I may gotta think about that then.
Oh yeah, I
Let's-
mean, if you like doing workouts in like non-carbon shoes, I think
Yeah.
that's probably one of your best choice.
All right, sounds good. Actually, learned
Yeah,
something new here.
I mean, it's one of my favorite shoes.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you follow like professional running at all?
yeah, I do.
Okay, Kerr or Ingebrigtsen?
Kerr.
Kerr,
I'm Kerr
okay,
all day. I'm actually English. You'll see a lot in my back here. Actually, I'll show
yeah.
you a little bit. I got the England flag
Oh,
with I'm actually English, so
can we hear an accent?
me an accent. I can't really force out an accent. It's
Yeah,
like it's not like my thing. Like
it's
it's
just
kind of hard to
sometimes
just put
slips
it out.
out.
My dad's English. My dad's not home right now, but what's it called? He's definitely got a very strong accent. Um, Actually, you want me to go? I'm gonna grab my Team GB uniform real quick. If see if I
Oh,
have it.
okay.
I may have it in my closet real quick. I'm gonna grab it real quick. Intermission.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in one of those SpongeBob, like the next day later things. I think that could look good. Yeah.
I may not have it.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? I ran in it this past weekend. But it's the Team GB one. But I actually did pull
Hmm.
out uh a little uniform I actually got in track season. I got the
Oh,
Team
is
USA
that a speed suit?
speed suit.
Oh,
So I do have a Team USA one too.
is it a full body? Oh, it is a full body suit.
Yeah.
You should have pulled that out at NXR. I
Pull
would
up in the
love to see
speed
that.
suit at NXR, run a cross country race.
I mean, that's dedication right there.
Yeah, and it's Nike, so I mean it would work.
Yeah, quality. Okay.
But yeah, I do have. I mean, I've posted. I've been in it. It's the Adidas one. It's
Mhm.
Team GB and stuff. So I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
embrace
mean,
that culture in me. So Yeah.
In my mind, Ingebrigtsen should have moved to the 5K when he lost his second world championships. He should have given
Yeah.
up on it.
I mean, he has countless, like, now at this point, winning that 5K and the 2 mile. I mean, he's obviously the higher distance. I mean, I would like to see him in the 10K. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wonder how that would go. I mean,
I think he's
he's an
like,
Ingebrigtsen, so I mean, they can do whatever they want in distance. They can
yeah,
go from 800 to 400. I don't know. You never know with those Norwegians. They're
he walked for like
insane.
10 minutes or something, like not 10 whole minutes, but he walked way too long in a half marathon 2 days after like a Diamond League championship race
Oh,
and
I
still went
heard
like 63 minutes.
he went insane. I know. It's insane.
Yeah, but it was crazy.
But
Um,
yeah.
okay, I guess in your mind, who was the favorite or like who did you want to win NCAA cross country championships?
Oh, for cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard choice. I mean, obviously I wanted to root for,
Uh-huh.
Justine, but um yeah, I never mentioned his name. Justine Kipkowicz. Kipkowicz. Can't speak right
Okay.
now. Um
Maybe try getting him on the podcast next.
yeah, I mean you probably could. He's actually he's very talkative. He's actually a really nice guy. Um so yeah, I guess him, but say out of all the names out there, I mean, I feel like you almost have say the guy I would say I'm gonna put it between two people because it's hard to
Okay.
pick one.
Yeah.
Um, at the lower one that I didn't want as much was Parker, but I would say like I was definitely rooting for him to get something there. Since I mean it's shown after the years he's been running,
Yeah.
he deserves a NCAA title. But then I really wanted him to get the back-to-back Grand Blanks win there.
Oh yeah.
Georgia rep there, Athens Academy. So I mean, what's
Hmm.
it called? That was definitely fun to see a Georgia guy succeeding
Oh
in
yeah.
such a matter.
I mean, I definitely wanted Blinks Graham to win. Like I've had him on the podcast.
Yeah,
He's an awesome guy.
he seems
And
really nice.
I mean, I have an interview set up with Parker Wolf now.
Hmm.
Shout out
Yeah,
Joseph Hone. Hooked me up with his phone number. So that was
that's
big.
sick.
So, I mean, in my mind, I thought I wanted Graham to win, but if Parker won, I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah.
And I think,
No offense to New Mexico guy.
I mean, yeah, I think he's great, but
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
like,
I just don't have any connect. Like I've never talked to him, never like met someone who even knew him. So
yeah, but yeah, I get it.
yeah. Now I have some Eastern Kentucky people to cheer for too going in the next
Yeah.
season. Yeah. Um. Okay. Going into wait. Oh yeah. Staying on. Who you think's gonna win? Going into NXN. I mean, I feel like it's up for grabs right now. Like there's
Oh,
no
it's
guy.
everywhere.
Who in your mind? Who do you have winning? Or and if you could pick anyone to win, who would it be?
Well, obviously, I want my boy Tommy to win.
Oh yeah. Same.
But so Tommy's out there. The other guy, say, could go out there and win it. There's a bunch. It's hard. I'd
Yeah.
say, I mean, obviously that Heartland conference region
Hmm.
out there with Manny Puts and the other guy Gonzalez or whatever. I can't exactly remember his name, but the guy who that three-way kick with them. I mean, that
Yeah.
definitely puts it out there. Keegan Smith representing the Southeast. I'd say it's going to be a Heartland or a Southeast win there. I'm rooting for those two regions probably for one of
Yeah.
those guys.
I mean, I don't think you can count out Texas. Caden
That's
Leonard.
true.
He's been
See, there's just so many people.
like
It's
going.
like mainly the ones that I've actually like realized, like not realized, but like that I've been looking at. Like if I'm
Uh-huh.
looking into the feed of runner space, it's those big races, like that three-way kick in the Heartland was insane. Like
Yeah.
they're running 14:30s and stuff in a full-out
Mhm.
sprint to win. It's like what rate? Like there's not a lot of races that you're kicking for a 14:30 and winning.
Yeah, like you're just like, yeah. Um, before NXR, in my mind, it was all Owen Powell.
Owen
Like
Powell. Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't see anyone beating him. And then at NXR, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he said he pushed extremely hard at states, and I still think like in my mind, it's either him or Keegan right now.
Yeah.
I think it's one of them too.
That's the other Tennessee guy, right? I can't remember. Where's
Owen
Owen Powell?
Powell.
Where's
He's
Owen Powell?
from Washington.
Was he Wash?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I'm off. I'm
yeah,
thinking of
no.
McCallie right now. What's
Yeah,
the guy to
Jack
McCallie?
Bowen.
That's what I'm
I
thinking
feel
of.
so bad for him. He didn't even qualify. He made it for Foot Locker though,
He made
so
it for Foot Locker though. I mean,
that's good
that's
for
the
him.
same boat for Jackson. Jackson, I mean, I was
Hogshead,
really
yeah.
rooting for him to get both those spots. What's it called? He definitely deserved that NXN spot considering he's gone 4 times, I think, under 15.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Great friend of
interviewing
mine.
him soon too, and I can't wait to talk about just how consistent he is. Like
Yeah.
sub 15, sub 15, sub 15. So I
Hmm.
think that's great to see. And then obviously, two guys going for Foot Locker, one going for, or two technically, I guess, for NXN. Avery Bowen or something. Her name is like
Yeah, Avery. She's yeah, Avery, but I know who you're talking about.
yeah.
But she's got the NXN spot because she
And
won.
then Tommy.
Yeah, and then Tommy, and then you got
I
the Foot
mean,
Locker guys with Malachi and Jackson.
yeah. I don't know if you saw this, but it's whatever. Is it what division is like Colorado and all of them for NXN? Is that
Colorado, they're I'd assume some mountain like Mountain West or I
well?
don't know
There
what
was like one whatever race it was. The girl that
West.
won, she went 15:50.
Oh, yep, the national record.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
And
saw
I
that.
think that's gonna be something to watch at NXN.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be put up to battle against what's her name, Riley Blade, and what's her name, the one who just won last
Sadie,
year.
is that her name?
Well,
Wait,
there's Sadie Englehart,
I mean this.
and
Yeah.
then I can't get her name right now. From Colorado, runs at Niwot. I've actually met her multiple times.
Oh,
Oh,
I know who you're talking
that's
about.
actually bad. Addie Ritzenheim,
Okay.
Dathan Ritzenheim, the coach of OAC's daughter. Um,
Mhm.
she's insane. But it's actually opened up her season way back, but she opened up her season in 1640. Like that's something a lot of girls don't open up their season in. But what's it
Yeah.
called? I mean, that people don't realize how big of a race it even is for the females out there. The
Yeah.
women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like anything you want to talk about? I have a couple more questions, but is there just like anything that you've thought of while we've been talking?
Um, I mean, maybe. I mean, a lot of with the teams in Georgia. What's
Oh
it called?
yeah.
That team battle, I guess, in 6A.
The
Um,
6A battle was something special.
even
I mean,
4A.
yeah. I
That
mean,
4A battle was insane too with Cambridge and Marist. And where are you guys 4A?
what 3A?
3A. Yeah, it's crazy with Georgia. It's like
Hmm.
it's really developing as a big sport,
Yeah.
like overall. So what's it called? I mean, we had a three-way battle, almost a four-way battle in 6A.
Hmm.
So it was the battle of who
It
could
was,
pack up the best
yeah.
with their five, and then basically three different teams. I mean, if you read the Mall Split article, he described it perfectly. You got three different
Mhm.
styles, or I guess two different styles in a way. Where you have front runners or your pack runners. So West Forsyth out there with their 1 to 5, which they describe it as like one of the best in the country, which is a little.
That's a bold statement.
It's a bold. I mean, if you look at yours, you're just. I mean, we're all just as close. I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at our 2 to 5 spread for Denmark, we're right with them. Like
Hmm.
the only reason why ours is a minute spread is because I'm
Yeah, because you're
part
up
of
there.
them, which is, I mean, that's what's winning state championships. I mean, it
Hmm.
showed. We won how much something can change within 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. Or three
Yeah, it
weeks
was. Yeah, I
actually.
think it was three.
So we were at Coach Wood, we were fourth place. We
Hmm.
came out there with no trophy, like nothing.
Yeah.
Um, we all had pretty decent races. It wasn't awful. We had a kid, one of our fives, like black out. Like we have had a lot of adversity, a lot of guys that don't want to go. It's a little TMI with some of them, but like they had some problems. But
Yeah.
they overcame them, and we pulled off a state title in first in our school's history that we've opened in 2018. So what's it called? It's significant that we did what we did. When especially for the season, we how much something can change. We kind of redid what I guess Marietta did a couple years ago, where
Hmm.
they didn't win Coach Wood. It's like it feels like it's always Coach Wood. So if you don't perform at Coach Wood, it's not the end of the world.
No.
We were fourth place, lost to Marist. I think West was second, and then Harrison
Yeah.
won. We lost to all three of those teams. Marist we can just knock out because we never really have to worry about them because we don't really race them as a team.
Yeah.
But West and Harrison, they got a lot of confidence saying, "Oh, we can beat Denmark."
They
Um,
probably like threw you out the picture, honestly, at that point. They were probably just like focusing on each other, which is
Basically,
probably a good thing.
exactly. So we kind of went. We had to get a little bit of humbleness considering we came off of our A6 win.
Mhm.
Uh, we came together as a team, really just focused on we want to win this. That's basically what was on our mind all season. Was we want to win this and we have a shot and we're gonna take it. So, um, and we went into sectionals. It's actually unfair.
Mhm.
Sectionals, we basically have all basically like 6 or 7 of the top 10 teams in the state of Georgia all in the same section. It's
Yeah. That's how
stupid.
it is.
Every year in our region, it's our county in general with Forsyth.
Hmm.
Our county is so stacked up in, I guess, depth. It's just asking to be the top like teams in the state.
Hmm.
And I mean, someone at some point, I feel like I mean they can be nationally ranked at some point. We'll get there. But
Yeah.
what's it called? If you've looked at our region meets, all the past 4 years I've been at Denmark, there's not a single year where it's been a down year. We've all had, I mean, last year was a bit of a down year, but still, we had guys that were running, you still had to run 930 to get out of a track region, 3200
Yeah.
region. I mean, that's a down year. And I mean, I was hurt, so I couldn't really do much in that situation. It definitely would have been a nice bonus to have there, but you can only do so much. But yeah, going back to the state race, I'm going a little bit on a ramble, but uh,
Fine.
what's it called? Sectionals, we won, which was a big bounce back. We actually won by like very little. I want to say it was only like 4 points. Can't
Hmm.
remember exactly. I think it may have been only 4 points. Um, to Harrison. Um, and how much that can change in 1 week. We won with 100 points at state.
Yeah.
Second place was 132. It was West Forsyth. We
Hmm.
won by 32 points. We beat Harrison by 54. So,
Yeah. Like,
like, I'm not getting that stat right. I may not be getting it right, but it's around there. So, how much on a certain day, if all your guys run how they're supposed to, and I ran exceedingly how, like, I exceeded my expectations on getting a fourth place finish, splitting up the Harrison guys, which I haven't done all year.
yeah.
So, I mean, those are very talented runners, that I beat. And it really just matters on having the right mentality and going into the race with, I
Hmm.
can win this and I can perform how, like, if I put myself in the right mindset, I can perform how I want. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll ask you another kind of rapid fire question. In your mind, who's the greatest American distance runner of all time? So changing it up a decent bit here.
rapid fire, not so rapid fire for
I
me.
know. Somewhat rapid fire.
So I'm very indecisive with these choices.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have two people because I can't pick one.
Okay.
I think you have to go back. I have two people. I'd say Steve Prefontaine is the known
Yeah.
one.
Hmm.
I mean, I was taught that runner back when I was way back, when I was running. I mean, he's quite a known guy, I'd say. And my junior Wolverines coach Dave Erickson, he taught me along his, I guess, quote, the main quote. I can't recite it right now in my head because my head's everywhere, but usually I have it right on my mind. But he taught me him, and then I'd say I actually have on my door back there is Bob Kennedy, Robert Kennedy. He's
Yeah.
quite a known runner. If you not sure how far you research into your American runners, but he's
I mean,
definitely known as being one of the top American runners in history. Being one of one of the first American guys to be able to beat the Kenyans.
yeah.
He's definitely a monumental guy in our history. So yeah, and then
Yeah.
I want to go on the women's side too.
Okay.
Um, what's it called? My favorite. I want to say my favorite because I don't really go into like who's the best. I want to say my favorite is probably Carrie Tovelson. I have a really good relationship with her. She always checks in how my races are. She's actually
Oh, that's
one of the
awesome.
head like anchors. She talks on
Yeah.
the like big races. You probably hear her a lot, Carrie.
Uh-huh.
What's it called? But yeah, she's
Yeah, that's
definitely
sick.
one of my favorite. Went to Villanova and whatnot.
I think I have to go Galen Rupp,
Oh,
and I think honestly,
his high school career is insane though too.
uh-huh.
I mean, his pro obviously is something a lot of
Yeah.
people, what's it called, don't understand how he can go from placing in all those other races, but then going up to the marathon and
Marathon
whatnot
still being.
is insane. That guy is
Yeah.
an overall mass like well, you can't even put into words. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. And then I think honestly, I love Steve Prefontaine, and I think he had the potential to like
Hmm.
just install himself as the greatest of all time, but he obviously his life was cut short.
Yeah,
I think Grant Fisher, he's still somewhat young. I think he definitely has a lot of potential to become.
he's definitely a likable guy.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
Graham Blanks and Parker Wolf on the world stage can both be some of those guys
yeah.
in the future.
I've
But
there's a lot of guys out there with running. They always
mhm,
there's a lot of personalities out there that are
yeah,
just like they're likable guys, these pro runners. I mean, I've had the opportunity, blessed with the opportunity to meet a lot of these guys. I've ran with the whole OAC team back last 2 years ago or last year. So I actually got to talk personally with Nagoose and
I mean the American 1500 team, probably the
yeah,
best in the world,
it's
no doubt,
insane.
actually. Yeah,
Like their depth that they have in their team with the amount of guys that can really
two through
place
five
at
at the
world
Olympics, like,
championships and whatnot. It's insane.
hmm
And then I also had an opportunity back this past year in Utah. Got to run with Centrowitz. So
okay,
he he's a great guy too. I mean all those guys are amazing people.
yeah,
And they definitely have a life that a lot of people, what's it
strive
called,
for,
strive for. Yeah, to
yeah,
really get to I guess the achievements they've achieved. And it's not an easy route. Yeah, I definitely have to have a different outlook
yeah.
on what you want.
Okay, so what are three random facts about you, non-related
Hmm.
to running?
Well, kind of already stated one. I'm a dual citizen, so
Yeah,
UK and America. So I can actually compete for Great Britain, but it's kind of hard to do nowadays
I
because
mean,
they're quite they're quite a powerhouse there. I
I
was
feel like
honestly probably would rather go for a U.S. team than a Great Britain team right now because of how
really,
much depth they have there. But I would
yeah.
I'd
I
still
mean,
I'd
I
still go
think
for a Great Britain team over a U.S. actually. But
I feel like 5K and 10K on that side. I feel like Great Britain is probably about even to US, if not. I could see it being a little easier in the 10K, but it's probably
yeah,
about even in like the 5K, I would
I mean,
say.
if you look at the history, you got Mo Farah, you
Mhm.
got all those guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty it's
They
pretty
definitely have
known
more
in that.
history in distance running than the US.
Sorry, say that again.
They definitely have more like history and depth in
Oh
distance
yes,
running than the US.
and it's a big sport there. I mean, when
Yeah,
my
it's
dad
definitely
came
like
over to America, 20 years ago, 20 some years ago, whenever, he it's more than 20 years. Jeez, maybe like 30 years now. He he really like was kind of shocked on how little track was really relevant at the time
I
he was
know
coming. It really is blown up only in the past couple years in America and in England.
it's one of
It's
those
like
sports.
watching football here.
Yeah,
It's
and I think
yeah.
the US is honestly really bad about this.
Hmm.
Um, like specifically in NCAAs, cutting all these scholarships and stuff. On the international level, it can make so much more money than the US is presenting because they're cutting so many athletes that have potential. No one's getting money. Not as many athletes want to do it. Not as many athletes want to represent the US because, like,
There's
they
so
want to
many
get
things.
paid.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's definitely a money sport that, like, it's definitely not a money sport, but it's
well,
definitely a sport that can bring in a
generate.
lot of money.
Mhm.
That they're not using it as much. I mean, it's almost impossible to now get into an SEC school because they're going to be recruiting overseas Kenyans.
16 roster spots. Like,
Yeah,
was it?
it's
Is it 10? I think it's 10.
10.
So you could
So that
get,
actually took out all the SEC schools for me,
yeah.
100%. Took like it really narrowed out my decision because I mean, I'm not gonna join a team. I'm not gonna be able to run on a track team because there's not
Mhm.
enough spots on the team that they're.
I mean,
It's like
I can also be like I saw a video on this. I don't know who posted it, but it was like it made honestly a lot of sense. The times are gonna get slower the more roster cuts are because they're gonna want to like be more strategic with their training. They're gonna want to rest them more, not do as much mileage because if one guy gets injured, there goes like their roster.
yeah,
So it's gonna be like a lot more conservative training, and that can just lead to some slower times.
yeah. It's really tearing apart the whole
Mhm.
SEC being the top like sports conference, and
Yeah.
it's tearing it apart for. I mean, if you look at the past years, I mean, SEC schools are all top schools for track. Like
Hmm.
all the track schools are all SEC schools. You go now, you got Texas in there. It's like tearing them more apart. You got all the
Yeah.
dynasties all just being ripped apart. And really, I don't really support it. I mean, that's really that
Hmm.
made my decision pretty clear for me.
Yeah.
And then it's just like it's yeah. I mean, I'm glad with pro running they're bringing in the whole thing with
Grand
the
Slam track. That's
yeah.
great for the sport.
So that's going to bring in a lot, especially with runners like Noah Lyles, bringing in the energy of
Hmm.
track is a fun sport and it's fun to watch. I
It's
remember I was talking to
entertaining.
some
Yeah.
guy. They really should turn it into like a gambling sport.
They should.
I
I
don't
think.
gamble. I don't do any of that, but like, I know a lot of people that do, and it's like, I mean, it's like horse racing, but just people.
I
So,
mean,
but they go
yeah.
gamble on, so like, imagine gambling. Kerr versus Ingebrigtsen.
I
Just
mean,
putting money on that. Like
that'd be awesome.
it's definitely a sport that has opportunity that you can put so much money into it. It can gain so much more popularity just from I mean,
Hmm.
just bringing in just bringing in money, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So we got
Fund it.
really off topic there.
Yeah.
Went from three random
It's
facts.
controversial topics that are just
That's.
it's true.
I mean, it's entertaining. I mean, I feel very strongly. I mean, I'm looking down on the NCAA right now,
Yeah.
and I think the stuff they're doing is just awful for not just track and cross country, but
Oh,
like
in the next couple of years, I
any
don't know
sport
if
that's
you'll
not
see much
football.
American rosters.
Yeah,
It seems like what are Americans doing wrong? Like, I feel
like
like in a way it's like, are we? How are these? I guess a lot of them are older. They tend to be
mhm.
more in their 20s. But still, the fact that they're developing these runners into like pros as like 16-year-olds. I mean, if you look at the
Like
Australian
what?
guy,
Yeah, what are we doing?
it's like we need to learn whatever they're doing. Like we're behind on this. We
Uh-huh.
need to catch up. And
Yeah,
I mean, if I'm surrounded by a bunch of those guys at EKU, they have about half their roster being internationals, like four Spaniards, four
yeah.
maybe more. Kenyan. They have a Kenyan. They have a guy from Great Britain. I think they may bring in another one. I'm not 100%. They're bringing some other European. And then they have two guys or one a guy from Monaco, two guys from Argentina. Like they have quite a diverse roster. It's not just
Yeah.
straight Kenyan. Of if you're not seeing Oklahoma's recent recruits, they have basically all the Kenyan national champions or something like junior national champions that they've just recruited. It's like
These guys are already running pro
is
races.
it really the NCAA, or are we playing? Or are we just doing pro running at this point? Like they should just be giving everybody NIL and sponsorships at this point. It's not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Two other random facts about you, I guess.
Yeah. Jeez, we really went on a ramble there.
I mean, it was a good discussion.
Yeah. Um,
Got to get my opinions about the NCAA off my chest finally.
yeah. Another fun fact about me. I just had one in my mind. Um, say I am the younger one of my grade. I actually probably should be a junior.
Okay.
So I'm 17 right now. I just turned 17 back in
Yeah.
August. So I'm actually younger than a lot of the top junior guys. So I mean, not to put names out there, but Aaron Broderick, he's older than me by a month. I actually learned that
I
my
mean,
freshman sophomore year, he actually is older than me. But
I
like
think Tommy is an older guy as well.
he's like mid to high. I think
Yeah.
same with Jackson.
And then I know who is it? There's a couple guys who I think should be in college right now that
Yeah, I know Dash should be a sophomore age wise too,
that makes me feel a
or
lot better
something
about
like that.
myself.
Well, I'm not
Um,
100%, but like
I
either way,
think
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure that's right.
if you're running 15s, I'm low 15s either way as a freshman or sophomore. I mean,
I mean, no
that's something
shade to
else.
no
Props to
shade
him.
to Dash, but like, how much can you improve at that point?
I
I
mean,
think
and that's what everybody was saying about Tommy, but look what
well, I
he's got
mean,
now, I
even
guess.
Tommy, he was realistic. He was mid 16s, low 16s, and he only broke
Yeah,
16.
1550, I think freshman year.
Yeah, at running lane, which is like a late season race.
Hmm.
And then he had a breakout race in um sophomore year at Coachwood. I think he went 14:56. And then I
Hmm.
mean junior year 14:41. I
Yeah,
mean this season I obviously he hasn't PR'd. He went 14:43 at NXO. In my mind, he's a better athlete though than he was last season.
yeah.
I think he's grown a lot, like racing wise. And I think he's definitely in contention at like every race now. Like it's not like just trying to qualify. It's like trying to win every race.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm supposed to say
I don't
this,
blame him.
but I heard a workout he did 2 days before, or like the last hard workout before NXR. It was, oh, are you good?
You want to know something cool? I just got a bloody nose.
Well, do you need to go clean up for a second?
Yeah, I would clean up for a second.
I'll tell the workout about Tommy real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So Tommy Latham, big shout out. He did 3 times 2K, and during the 2K workout, his splits for the mile were 4:33, 4:32, 4:32, and with an additional lap. So pretty crazy workout before NXR.
Yeah, I said I was sick, so what's it called? It's all coming back mid-interview right now.
we're getting
Yeah.
an interesting one here.
Probably most entertaining one I've had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah, I mean, Tommy's training's insane. I mean, I've
mhm.
seen it a
I
lot
mean,
over the years. I mean, I've gone to Colorado with him twice over the years. And him doing like 400 repeats in altitude, going like low 60s consistently, it's insane what he does. I mean, he's like no other Georgia runner in history.
and the great thing about Tommy and like their training, he's only doing 60 miles a week, about 55, 60.
Yep,
And if you look at some of these guys on the West Coast, they're doing 90, 100 as high
yep,
schoolers. Like, you can only increase your training so much
so
at that
much.
point. Like, what are you gonna do then? And Tommy, he has so much room to like increase mileage. Like, that's just gonna be like dangerous going to NCAAs even as a freshman.
Yep. I mean, I'm
So,
only doing 55 at most, really.
yeah, same for you. Like, I think
I'm
genuinely the
quite
East
low.
Coast is a lot better about that. You won't find as many guys on the East Coast doing what these West Coast guys are.
And another thing you probably think is kind of crazy. I mean, this Spaniards. I don't know if it's overall, but Spaniards at EKU, they're only doing like 40. Like they're really low,
Yeah,
30, 40. And they're trying to
that's
build them up
wild.
to 65, and that's all they're really doing in college. And they're
Which
building.
is it's so low.
Yep. And I mean, they're not doing they're not on high mileage training overall. I mean,
Mhm.
compared to most programs where Grant Blake's is doing 110,
Yeah.
you got EKU really like kind of doing that in between where they're about 75 to 80 really,
hmm
which is
I
honestly
think perfect place to be
pretty
in
solid.
college. And then especially if you have some guys
Yeah.
wanting to run professionally in the future, I think that sets them up really nicely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Then
So, excuse
one
me.
last fun fact.
Oh yeah. Totally
Because I just
forgot.
want to add one. It's pretty obvious. So I also
Okay.
watch soccer, or football. Um,
Cool.
what's it called? Come on, you Irons. I'm a West Ham United fan. We did not perform how we would have wanted to. I'm not sure if you watch any soccer, but
I don't
we
follow any
lost
sport
5-2
besides
to
this country.
Arsenal this week.
Oh,
But what's
I
it
actually
called?
did see that game because my cousin, he watches soccer and he turned it on. So
Yeah.
then
So
Thanksgiving.
we came back a little bit at the first half, but it was we definitely have had better games.
hmm
We won the game before that. We're having a meh season, but it's better than being regulated from the Premier League, so we're good.
Yeah. Okay. I think my final question for you is where do you want to take running? Do you want to run after college professionally? Do you want to just have like a successful NCAA season, end it there? Like what's next for you? Like college and onward.
So
Like
what I
what do you want
see
to achieve in
myself,
college, I guess.
um, yes, sorry. What I see myself honestly over the next
hmm
4, 5, whatever seasons. So my freshman season, I'll more likely redshirt my like cross country season up to like
Yeah.
race the first 2 or 3 smaller meets, and then just depending on how I'm racing and how I'm compared to the starting the starting squad,
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But then after that point, I'll finish wherever for my next 4, with hopefully Eastern Kentucky, but we'll see how everything flows. Uh, my next 4 there, and then hopefully be getting my master's in business by then for my 5th year. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll be going to grad school. I'm focused on my academics on getting a business. What's it called?
Degree.
Master's. So
Okay.
that, and then honestly, really just decides on how I'm at that point in time. If I'm where I as just decides on how I am as a runner at that time. If I'm could be a pro runner, I mean, I'll be a pro runner. And most likely will be like the part time because honestly, I still want to do business no matter what.
Don't want to make some money.
Yeah,
I get that.
because there's not much money flowing in the running
Unless
industry.
you're
Um,
like number one, you're not
unless you're
making
Noah
what.
Lyles getting a bunch of Adidas spotter sponsorships and whatnot,
Yeah,
where he just bought like a mega mansion. And then
yeah. But you're not a sprinter either, so
yeah, exactly. So you don't get that like publicity like a sprinter. But so yeah, that will probably be just how I end up there. And then what's it called? Honestly, if I'm not a pro runner, I'm probably going to be the dad that's either going to be like a
running like
Piper,
it.
either going to be
Yeah.
a Piper type dad where I'm running like the 520 miler as a dad, or
Mhm.
like I'm gonna be in between that and like probably like the bodybuilder type dad. Like
The
I
hybrid
want to be
dad.
the fit dad. I don't
You
want to
can be
be
the Nick Bear of
the
dads.
dad that's sitting down on the couch that's
Mhm.
rotting there.
I mean, this is a little shout out, I guess. Malachi Burnett's dad. I
Oh
saw
yeah, the
this.
sub five.
He went sub 5, and that's
Shout
just
out
so.
Drew
It's
Burnett
crazy.
Burnett.
Like, imagine being like, I have no clue how old he is. He's got to be over 40, and like running sub 5.
Gotta watch it. He may be I don't know how old he is, but
I mean, he
honestly,
has a
no
son
matter
who's
what.
17. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah. So I
Hey,
mean, either
no
way,
disrespect. If
either
you're
getting to
30,
that age, running a sub 5 mile is impressive. If you want to put also another shout out to Piper's mom, she's running
uh
1640s and getting close to running like hour like 10 mile runs, like no 10
yeah,
hour whatever it is. She's running like 17, 19 mile runs at like 6:30 pace, which is insane.
yeah.
So yeah,
Okay,
that's what I aspire to be, one of those guys.
yeah. I mean, I think this is gonna be a great video when I post it. I'll
Yeah.
have the thumbnail. Things got crazy, blood nose, and it'll be like my hands on my head with your bleeding nose. So definitely get some clickbait there.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, thank you. I mean, if you have any questions for me, I guess I'll ask that before I close it out a little bit.
Honestly, not sure. You've asked a very great question, so
Okay.
but yeah.
Um. So thank you so much for the interview today. I wish you the
Thank you
best
for
of
having
luck
me.
going in the track season and your NCAA career. Hopefully, I'll be interviewing you again, possibly as a pro runner, possibly as a top collegiate guy.
Never know.
And
We'll see.
oh, I forgot to say this, but since I've been trying to do this more, I'm trying to do workout videos. I've
Yeah.
only done one with Tommy, and I'm just trying to get in a bunch of those. That's my most viewed video, and it's really fun to film, more fun to edit and stuff. So if you ever
Yeah.
have a workout at like Cochran Shores or like someplace like that,
Yeah.
hit me up.
I'll
I'll
be
show
sure
up
to
with a bike and camera and get some live workout video. It's pretty fun.
bring out the Denmark crew.
Oh yeah, makes you feel like a celebrity.
Yeah, of course. I'll
Okay,
definitely hit you up on that.
yeah. Have a great night. Good luck again.
Thank you. I
I'll probably
appreciate it for
see you in
having
some
me.
races this year.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.